What the fuck is going on, guys? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is up, YouTube? Are you here? Are you real? Are you real? I want to hang out with y'all for my 28 minutes that I got with you. You fucking heard me, bitch? You fucking bitch. We're gonna rip this down. Oh, man. But we need that natural lighting, right? Check out all... I told you I was going to get food, and look. 1, 2, 3 bags of food, bitch. I'm set. I don't have to go on a depressed, hungry walk for the next week where I have to go beg. You heard me? And my vape is out, so it's just a burning, gross chemical taste. So the vape I will now associate with this unpleasantry. You heard me? So listen, guys. Today, while I have you, and I hope that you're still here, motherfucker, God has done... I'm a creative person. So I'm constantly making songs, I'm constantly piecing together art, and I'm constantly taking in life and trying to convert it to the most perfect thing for myself, right? It's what Saint Teresa says one has to do to become a saint, is to suffer much, seek out the most perfect thing to do, and forget self. When I drove my car 80, 90 miles an hour directly into a pole, and I smacked my head and the airbag didn't go off, when I vibrated out of that reality and I entered this one, which might not be the same one because I've also had a couple other near-death experiences where it feels like I've completely shifted to the next place. So I don't know which Rick and Morty universe I'm in now, but wherever universe I started from with my photographic memory, which is commonplace for everybody born on the 11th, is that they have a photographic memory. And they're very emotional, yerd. Is... Oh shit, it's Aries season, right? Is, they just slapped that book. And what I've realized is that somewhere along the way, I realized that everything that I'm looking at, everywhere I go, every store that I step into, every library, every little nook that I decide what's back there, and I sneak behind somebody's house and I go look in the garbage and I look at it. When you fall in love with art, you understand something called theme and motif and character development and choices and how that transitions the energy. So I started to correlate my thoughts and my intentions and the things that I inside the song that I was creating, and I realized when you perfectly harmonize and synchronize your inner creative world with the outside world, you realize what Ralph Smart, my mentor, 33, same as me, one of the original YouTubers, when YouTube first came out and there was a handful of YouTubers that were the biggest ones, let's say there were 13, he was one of the 12. And he was the originator of the spirituality niche, Infinite Waters, and I'm Wildfire, you heard? He taught me, because I talk to him all the time, bitch. And I meet people that miss him. I meet people that loved Ralph. Ralph was there for them when they had nobody, these white Vermonters. And they So I'm running into his disciples. And I taught Ralph a lot. Isn't that crazy? The 20-year-old brain damaged, determined to save the world kid taught Ralph a lot about life. And he taught me a lot about spirituality. Just because I fully believe I came out of the womb an ancient, some type of war chief, some type of ancient dark warlord spirit. I could show you a photo. But he says that we are a co-creator of our reality, and the universe reveals its secrets to those who dare to follow our hearts. Their hearts. I've also spent decades in isolation, where most of my day is completely alone. This whole time, since I was born, since I was 3, and I was hiding behind the couch while my parents fought, and my dad would pick me up and threw me in the car to bring so that he could have a drive with me to go return the land before time. And then I remember the next day I went back to Brattleboro, and I was pretending to be a cat on the top of the stairs. I was laying like a cat, pretending to be a cat, thinking I was a cat. And the sunroof would come down, and I remember my father showed up that night to see me, and I felt like my father and I were not father and son. I felt like I had known him my whole life. Like I'd lived a long life. And it was the same moment when I was young like that, and my dad was explaining to me that he didn't have to tell me because I'm an 1133, so I already knew how my dad felt. I could see it on him. I could see the clouds. The story is my mom went outside and she saw an angel come out of the clouds. It's shaped like an angel, and then on the birthday of one of her best friends that died, and she had this feeling that she was going to talk to that dead person, and then she looked up and then saw that, and I knew that happened. I could just tell that I saw the narrative. But I'm saying when I talk to my father, it's just these layers and layers of like built up relationships. Like, oh, I'm 17 and my dad's 50. Oh, my dad lives here and I live here. Oh, my dad's mad at me. But on the underlying factor, my dad and I are something a lot older than that. Where I've always felt like, sometimes I feel like I'm my father's father. Like sometimes I feel like I was my father's father in a past life. What's cool is that I'm if you go back through to the originators of the system that we're living in, if you're spiritual, if you've got that snake that's eating itself, if you've got your life path number, your astrological sign, or a tattoo with a yin yang, or anything related to paganism or Christianity or anything, the originators of those systems is just based off of the 13, the Aquarius, the light, the Jesus, the water bearer, and the 12 other signs. The crows are going. The crows are back. So, the Chinese and the Vietnamese interpretation, which most Freemasons and numerologists feel like the Vietnamese is the most accurate. The Vietnamese zodiac, I'm a cat. And I'm from the O'Brien family, whose sigil is the lions. And my dad, Gary the Legend O'Brien, is a Leo. And my cousin, Jesse Claudius was a Roman emperor. Brian Boru was an Irish king, the last High King of Ireland that defeated the Vikings. And if you look, Brian Boru, it looks identical to my father, and Claudius, the Roman emperor, looks identical to my cousin, Jesse. And Jesse means Jesus, and he's a Leo, the heart. And JC, his initials. And he's born on a 4 day, the 31st, 2002, so there's 2 4s in that. Which the 4th letter in the alphabet is D. So Jacob Collier just dropped his album called D Jesse, Volume 4. And Casey, was the best streamer on Twitch until he was overtaken by KCO, Casey Francis O'Brien. KCO just overtook Kaisenat on Twitch. They called me KCO in high school. The best travel streamer in the world, the best travel YouTuber is Kurt Kaz in the KC Army, and his movement is the Kurt Kaz Conquest. And my thing is the Kingdom of Creative Champions. And then the one guy that made it out of Vermont is Kelly from the Kelly Creative Collective. And somebody named Shaquille O'Neal, but he goes by Shaq O'Neal. In Ireland, when they moved the English names, they added the sh to the J's. Like not Javon, Siobhan, not Jack, Shaq, not John, Sean. So Shaq O'Neal is Irish for Jack. There's no Shaq in any other culture but Irish. So we wound up with an Irish name, and the last dream I had, before I figured this out, the last dream I had about Kelly was me and Elliot Hulse's nephew, who was my roommate in college. And we both left on the last day because we felt like there was some MK Ultra shit going on. So we both left on our last day of college before we passed the test, and then I went back and did it, but he didn't. It was me and his nephew, and we were both higher ascended souls, very creative. So we impregnated Kelly from the Kelly Creative Collective, my op. He was empty and sad and standing in front of me, kind of happy. And we filled him up, and then I watched him walk up the steps into a giant neon glowing Shaq head of Shaquille O'Neal. And I didn't know anything, I didn't really think about it, but now I'm like, shit. And also, everywhere I go, it's the same exact names. And they have the same energies as the other people of those names. I'm saying that I walked into a pizza place today, and there was somebody named Casey in front of me in line getting a pizza. And I'm at the most beautiful spot in Vermont. I don't know if you can see it. The only other beautiful views I can think of are like random alcoves in the woods, or the top of Mount Mansfield, or on lake. No, even sitting at these lakes, it's not that great. This is one of the greatest views. I can think of five of the best views in Vermont, right off the top of my head, and this is one of them. The other one's in Morrisville, Mount Mansfield, Burlington, Marlboro, and Wilmington. So I have my license now. As soon as I walked into society. So when I was staying at the Fringe here, so I'd been here for 2 weeks, getting all this terrible energy, getting denser and denser and angrier and more powerful. I would just walk to the edge of the parking lot. State police shows up and he's just standing there and he won't stop trying to take all my energy away. And then I get a notification for why chosen ones must suffer. So I'm like, oh, okay. It's the universe, and then it says that chosen ones have to suffer because it teaches you how to have a meaningful life force and a drive to live by suffering. And that the reason that we're unhappy is because we've learned what's real and what isn't. So we can't be around the fake anymore. We can't be a part of the society. We're going to the next level. They're all going to get flooded and wiped out. They're all just going to fall over one day. You're just going to fall over one day, and we're going to be here to lead whatever you become because you're too afraid to take consistent, conscious, decisive actions. And I figured this out when I was born. And has been non-stop trauma since. Sometimes I've had a couple years where it's just everything goes in my favor and I'm completely blessed. And anything I want is at my fingertips. Any girl I want to talk to. Yeah, so remember how I said the red car that has to get in my way and try to rope all the energy out? That's not a parking space. She just had to go where I'm looking because it's a threat. They're threatening me. They're threatening me and they're trying to scare me and then they're trying to rub it in my face. See? She's rolled the windows down now. And she's shaking. She rolled not her window, she rolled the window next to me. You know why? Why would she depressurize herself once the attention is on her? Why would she invite the idea that there's no separation between us if she's not a container looking to take so that she can leave and maybe she goes out there and she just walks into 9 3/4? Maybe she just fades out of existence. But I know she's tweaking right now and she's looking at me. See? Because that's an alien. That is an NPC MK Ultra handler, an empty vessel possessed by these outside forces that either want to farm us or it's here to teach us a consistent lesson over and over again till we get it. But that's not that motherfucker over there is not real. That's not real. That's not a real thing. The clouds, so my vision just switched because I felt her hit me with a beam of the Men in Black. And my whole sight turned red. You know, like the song Seeing Red? And I'm telling you that when I got good at beating them, like I could just say infinite, imagine everything and reverse it. Imagine everything all at once, everything all at once. I'll fill you up right now. Take it all. See how overwhelming it is. Because you could never be me. That's why you have to steal me. You have to take me away from me because you'll never be me, and I know that makes you jealous. I know you hate that. She's just going. If you also notice, she can't see me. My windows are tinted. She'd have no way to see that I'm in here. Yet she parked exactly where there's a direct line of sight for her to stare at me. But her windows are tinted so the camera won't affect her. Because they hate the camera usually. And it's a red car. But I've had strangers walk up to me and tell me, hey, we're some of the people that are on your side. There's not a lot of us, but we are some of the people that support you, and we're going to help you. And then when I get inspired, they message me. I've been followed for blocks by somebody with a gray or a red hood on and alien glasses, and he just one time he followed me all the way through Rutland, and every time he would hide behind a pillar and stare at me like this with the alien glasses. And then as soon as he turned a corner and left and he was gone, millions of crows went crazy and were flying around me. And then I realized, like, oh shit, this is a holographic projection. See there? And then the bird goes left to right, which I said if a bird goes left to right, I'm on the wrong path. And if a bird goes right to left, I'm on the right path. So now I should be expecting a work truck of some kind that has the job that I should apply for. Because that's usually how it's a pattern. It goes in numbers, a sequence of events. Nope, just a string of red cars. Because I'm revealing it. But there's a penny that I found today, right in front of me, that I forgot was here until right now. So, am I on the right path? So it was going to be yes, but then I asked the question, and then it flipped to no. It fell off my leg. My hand, it's hard to control because there's not a lot of light, and I told you I need to fast. My hand lost control for a second. It slipped because I don't have all the energy in here. And there's also a literal demonic entity, an alien being, something that's outside of the simulation that's piloting this person that keeps twitching and staring at me. Even when I'm over here, I can see her head moving and I can feel the attention coming to me. Because if she's zombified, she's feeling the information come to me. She's feeling my mass as I intend to influence and impact my surroundings. You look so good today. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Yeah, so they try to make it seem like they're normal. When you observe them, they try to make it seem like they're normal people. And then once they're in your direct line of sight where there's a full connection, they slow down. They try to take as much attention as possible. And that's a skill that's either where it's all a simulation where you're all in on it and you just decide that that's going to be the change, or this is specific to this area network. That's what they've decided to do with the tools of the universe that we've all been given. But one day they all just decided to start slowing down to take as much attention as possible. And they all decided to get on the phone and start calling somebody. See, I leaned back and she's leaving. But you won't believe me. Who am I but somebody that does this every minute of every single day for years, for over 10 years? Somebody that's been in the upper echelons of society, that's partied with millionaires, that's partied with famous people, that's done acid at a young age and figured it out, that's been traveling homeless for 10 years. I'm 24, since 14 years old. That's seen everything, that has a life path number that means that he's seen everything this world has to offer, and I'm just the last huzzah, the last final climax before my soul leaves and is not allowed back, because I've done everything. If your life path, if you add all the numbers together from your birthday from left to right and it doesn't equal 33, you're coming back. But I can be your guardian angel. Next time you come back and you have this inspiration and all of a sudden this song comes to you, I made that for you. We're all co-creators. God made this. But it's not just God, or else it wouldn't be beautiful. It's a symphony. It's a sea. It's an ecosystem. It's an ocean. It's a reef. It's this big spiraling network of roots and trees and bugs and squirrels that are all communicating with each other. Of course, I'm surrounded by my ancestors and around fifth dimensional beings. They guide me down the road. Grief is only love that's got no place to go. And everyone I've loved is probably part of the Truman Show. And that's a fact. Because when I have my Kundalini awakening and I realize that I'm something different and that I'm in something that's sinister and always trying to oppress me and brainwash me and take away my power, the ones I love show up to gaslight me back. And even the people that hate in my comments share the same motifs as the average Joes that I meet on a daily basis that fall under the same NPC meaningless, don't have it all pieced together because you're not evolved enough. You don't get to see the bigger picture because you haven't been through enough to understand. You get some of it. You can get stuff off YouTube. You can have some experience where it's revealed to you. Maybe you have an ayahuasca trip and you meet somebody like me that's already out there, that's just excited that you stepped into my cave and I want to show you how I build Legos. And then you have that insane experience that you spend the rest of your life explaining to your friends about this moment where you met Jesus, who died at 33 before he rose to heaven. The snow just fell off the top of my car. I've been kidnapped and molested and constantly attacked, where I feel the sense of peace by doing the trauma therapy, which is you remember how you were before the trauma, and then you let that slowly push away the bad, and you start to learn how to love yourself again and how to focus and be in society. Here's my red car that are all staring at me. And they circled me. They're circling me. And now they're going to park directly behind my car. I don't even have to look.